Heed this warning. The beings that stalk the Appalachian expanse are not to be taken lightly. They are an insidious presence, lurking deep within the labyrinthine wilds of one of Earth's oldest and most cursed landscapes. Join us as we step into the vortex, where mythology, legend, and history twist into shadowed truths, and ancient lore bleeds into the fabric of reality. This is the first of many descents into the monstrous beings that haunt the Appalachian Mountains. If you're enjoying these videos, please do subscribe, like, and feel free to share your own chilling encounters with the spectral forces and forgotten creatures that still roam the ancient hollows of this enigmatic range. First, let's visit one of the Cherokee tribe's most enduring legends, and one that's firmly embedded into Appalachian lore, even now: the Wampus Cat. The legend says that a woman named Running Deer disguised herself as an animal by wearing the pelt of a slain mountain lion to confront the spirit of madness, Ewa, that drove her husband insane. To defeat the primeval spirit, she and the mountain lion she wore became one, the souls forever entwined. She was transformed into a creature both human and beast, walking upright on hind legs, her form echoing the wild power of the great cat. Seemingly semi-aquatic, being as comfortable in the treetops as it is in the marshes and rolling rivers, the Wampus Cat's blood-curdling scream is said to drive those who hear it to madness, whilst her orange eyes penetrate the darkness of night like haunting beacons. Running Deer didn't just avenge her husband, she continued to protect all Cherokee lands forevermore, and that includes the 2,000 miles of Appalachian Mountains. Oddly enough, we don't think the Wampus is all that far-fetched. We have to remember that this is some of the wildest and most unexplored landscapes in the world, thanks to its rugged terrain. Is it so preposterous to think it might be possible for a species of mountain lion to have dramatically adapted to live in these wet, rocky, and densely forested lands? There are lions in Africa that have adapted to live in trees and swim incredibly well in the marshes of the savannah. There are monkeys that have quite literally rewired their DNA to survive around the icy springs of northern Japan, despite its being a strictly tropical primate. Is the Wampus a woman cat who evened the score against a vengeful spirit of madness? Or is she a unique swimming mountain lion that's developed adaptations to persevere in challenging conditions? But there can be no mistaking that the Mothman is some undiscovered animal living in the hidden cracks of the Blue Range. This is a cryptid through and through. It is a humanoid creature, standing 7 feet tall, with enormous bat-like wings that soar through the sky like a monumental moth. It has glowing red eyes and flies at impossibly great speeds. And before you dismiss the Mothman as a silly urban legend dreamed up by imaginative kids, consider this. In 1967, over 30 people reported sightings of a creature with this description around Point Pleasant. In every encounter, it was witnessed by at least 2 people. Then came tragedy. The Silver Bridge collapsed, killing 47 people, and just like that, the Mothman vanished. It was never seen in Point Pleasant again. As you might imagine, the Mothman is widely regarded as a harbinger of death, a dark omen whose presence foreshadows tragedy. In the days leading up to the Chernobyl disaster, 5 workers reported seeing a winged creature bearing a striking resemblance to the Mothman. Into recent years, the Mothman sightings cropped up all over Mexico in the month leading up to the swine flu outbreak of 2009. And finally, in Japan, in the weeks before the 2011 tsunami, several employees reported seeing a winged man around the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant before the nuclear meltdown caused by the tsunami. The Mothman's legend spans all across the globe, but it started way back with the native tribes hundreds, if not thousands, of years before the Silver Bridge collapse. They spoke of the Thunderbird, a colossal winged creature that brought storms, disease, and death in the wake of its wings. Is the Thunderbird actually the Mothman? Those witnesses in the mid-1900s who lived in the shadow of the Appalachian Mountains and saw the Mothman simply gave the ancient omen of tragedy a new moniker. And since its first official recording, the name has stuck. The Moon-Eyed people are often described as small, ghostly pale beings with unusually large, light-sensitive eyes. So sensitive, in fact, that they were said to emerge only under the cover of night. According to Cherokee legend, they lived in the Appalachian region before the Cherokee, who drove them out in a fierce battle at Fort Mountain. The Cherokee credited the Moon-Eyed people with building the ancient mounds and magnificent stone structures to this very day. The theories of who the Moon-Eyed people were range from completely logical to utterly bizarre. Some think they were ancient Welsh seafarers who got stranded in the Americas long before Columbus arrived. Others think they are more closely related to the Fey folk of Europe who live underground. Maybe they were another indigenous group who happened to have a genetic quirk resulting in albinism. Whilst some are believers that they are visitors stranded here from another planet. Does this tale have a ring of truth to it? Simply because the Cherokee did not take credit for building the mounds when they had every opportunity to do so. Before we continue, we need to remind you that the mountain range in question stretches from the very southern states of Georgia and Alabama all the way into the icy Canadian wilderness. It's a spiderweb of hollows, caves, lakes, mountains, rivers, and so much dense forest that it's almost hard to believe that such an untamed, wild scar could lie virtually untouched when there are major cities and highways all around it. Yet the heart of the Appalachians is virtually unsettled. It has all of the resources that a thriving society needs to survive and prosper, yet the only ones who made it their permanent home were those that were forced to seek refuge there for fear of death from wars, invasion, and for religious freedom. Only the threat of death could force the surrounding tribes and later Europeans, to set foot into the place that hides more creatures and spirits that slither on the wet forest floors than any historian's been able to count. These diverse groups of people intermarried and gave rise to the Melungeons, a group descended from Native Americans, Europeans, and possibly African or Middle Eastern ancestors. It's from this unique group of people that we get the most hair-raising of the legends. The feral people of the Appalachian, terrifying because they almost certainly exist. Whether groups split off from the main tribes thousands of years ago, or later during the Civil War, and some during the Great Depression, there are more than enough instances when people fled deeper into the wilderness, never to be seen again. Did they, and their children, and their children's children, slowly become more inbred, more savage, more untamed? After years of brutal winters and dwindling resources, were they finally driven to the brink of starvation, forced to murder and consume unsuspecting passers-by just to survive? And these aren't simply insane tales thought up around the campfire either. There are many instances that we can trace when groups broke away from their people to live or hide out there in the caves where no one could find them, and hundreds of sightings to accompany the historical records. A disturbing amount of them during the course of the hundreds of missing persons cases that haunt the mountains. From these accounts, we get recurring details that give us a clear picture of what these wild men look and act like. In the hundreds, possibly thousands of years out there, this fledgling tribe have developed a language of their own, consisting of clicks, whistles, howls, and yips. Though they look wild, unshaven, and filthy, there is no mistaking the fact that they are human. Yet they are unnaturally agile, scaling trees, mountains, and ravines, much like primates would. Besides eyewitness accounts, there are other signs that there is more truth to the matter than we'd like to admit. It's all but certain that there are still people living out there in the wilderness. Ransacked campsites and cabins are incredibly commonplace. Dens filled with human rubbish and obvious human habitation are found in caves in the mountains all the time. Could these thefts have come from other hikers? The chances are slim to none. The trail is lined with supply stations and check-in points. Yet no one has ever been found carrying the missing radios, battery-operated lights, or cooler boxes that were reported stolen. In all these years, across thousands of incidents, not a single hiker has ever been linked to the break-ins. Feral cannibals and winged beasts are just the surface of the Appalachian Mountains' chilling secrets. Tune in next time to hear all about the rest of the Smoky Ridge's frightful fiends. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and share this video. Your engagement is what keeps the lights on here in the Vortex, where myth, legend, and reality collide.